Okay, hi everybody. So this is going to be a little short stream slash video to kind of go over some information uh, to explain what this is all about. So I should probably pull up. Ooh, I can do this real quick. I should probably pull up when this idea first percolated around our group. Um, we probably in like 29, not 2019. It would have been like 2021. Um, Somehow there came the idea between several of us in our guild of collecting every junk item that exists in World of Warcraft and what that would mean and what that would look like and how that would work. Um, and so we looked into uh, that kind of as a joke at first, but then when Burning Crusade was out, we looked at it and realized like, oh, there's like 1,000 junk items, which is a lot, but it's not quite as extreme as I thought it was maybe going to be. Um, so we decided to I kind of just decided to like look into it a little bit more to see what was out there. I'm pulling up this conversation and it looks like I mean I see like text about it as of September of last year. It had been way before that. Where was it? I'm gonna keep scrolling back. Oh yeah, this is way older. He and I were talking a lot about pets um when that stuff came out. Just checking here. There we go. Okay. So it looks like I made my spreadsheet probably like last July, and we started looking into this a little bit earlier than that. Um, but overall, it's now been. Um, oh, hey, Scorn. Yeah, that is a scam message. Great. So we've been looking into this for a little while, and then when Wrath came out, it added something like 400 more items. So this is a terrible like intro to what I'm talking about. But this is basically the goal is to collect every gray item possible was kind of the initial goal. But we had to eventually pivot that into the idea of collecting every gray tradable item that exists in the game because there are a lot of soulbound items that are specific to certain classes or races or factions. So it's impossible to get every item on one character. Oh, actually, I just remembered the actual origin of this quest was that uh, last year, the year before that, we joked about the idea of trying to make a character that collected as many heads in the game as you can, because there are so many quests in the game that require you to collect an enemy's head and have it in your inventory. And we had the joke of how many heads can you have in your inventory at once. And we realized that because they're all bound to quests and their quest items, and if you abandon the quest, you lose the quest item. That typically it was going to be like 25 plus a couple more. And actually, even further before that, the idea was from a druid in our guild named Kistara, who she developed the library, as we called it. She became the librarian because everyone just sent her as many books as they can, because there are so many books that are tradable in this game. So she has a robust collection of books, and that kind of also was one of the starts to this idea. So those are all we've been doing stupid bullshit like this for a while. So so that's kind of where it started. So all that to say, we had to pivot the idea to basically be like collect as many gray items as you can, and initially it was not going to be armor and weapons. But once I started getting close to finishing everything else, I decided to look into armor and weapons, and now I'm doing that. But the goal is going to be, I guess, looking at this list. This is a list that I've gotten from Wowhead. I went by category on Wowhead for Wrath of the Lich King. For anything that is a poor quality item, which means it's gray, its name is gray, um, and it's by category. So it starts with its weapons, armor, and then I think miscellaneous is where most of the rest of it is. But there are a couple things in like quest, a couple things in consumable. Um, so there are some categories listed here by row, but even with those included, we're sitting at about 1,476 entries on this list. Again, minus like 8 for category titles. So that's the goal. As of right now, from my last checking, for weapons and armor, um, I'm still trying to figure out if a couple of these exist, but we have about, I think, 300 weapon and armor items to go. Yeah, that's roughly right. And for non-weapons and armor, we only have, technically, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 items left to go. There's an additional 3 that are bind on pickup that I'm gonna get just because I want to, but they're not actually technically part of the list. So now that we're getting that close, we started looking at oh, I need to do what I'm calling the grand audit. I need to go through and verify that I actually have everything. There's a lot of items that are on the list that don't exist, and it's been hard to verify some of these. So I'm going to need to go through and basically ensure that I have this in one of my various characters and guild banks. So I'm not sure even the best way to do that, but I made this big list and I made a copy of my much more detailed list I made of non-weapons and armor so that I can kind of go through and recheck these off. There's weapons and armor on this other list as well. And I have all these other tabs because there's been the part of this journey has been fraught with confusion, and I got pictures of all the different armor sets because I was very fascinated. Like every gray armor set is like a matching thematic thing, and some of them look really cool and some of them look really terrible. So I went through and kind of tried to get snapshots of all of them. Like check out the crochet set. That's so cool. It's wonderful. Yeah, some of these are great. So yeah, I thought that was fun. Yeah, here's much more of the armor sets here, which is cool. I've got a tab for oozes because we'll go over it whenever we get to it. But one of the biggest mysteries in the game is there are 2 items that I just still don't know if they exist. It's the broken arrow and the extinguished torch. Apparently, these are supposed to exist and drop from oozes. From any of these oozes listed on the left, but I've never been able to verify a drop, no matter how many times I've tried to kill them. And so I assume they don't actually exist. The problem is that, and we'll get into this as we go through, one of the biggest resources I found is Nexus Hub to determine if something's ever been traded on an auction house in Classic, because that tells me that it existed, if it was ever traded. And one of these was on Nexus Hub, which means that someone had one of these in their inventory, but I cannot determine a source of where that could possibly come from. So I'm not sure how that's going to happen, or how that could possibly exist, but we'll look into that later. And then I made some lists to help me organize some other stuff better, and all these other terrible audit lists. But anyway, so I'm gonna find a good way to organize it and go through this. It's gonna be probably pretty boring, but I just feel the need to catalog it. And part of what I want to do along the way too is I want to go through and try to pick out, like, I mean, I don't know, there's 1,400 items. I feel like I want to try to pick out anything that's in any of the items that are interesting, because there's a lot of really interesting junk items that I found. Like either the way that you get them is weird, or the fact that they exist at all is weird. And I think it's just worth shouting them out, because these are things that like almost very few players ever acknowledge that exist. So that's the basic game plan. Like I said, in terms of methodology here, a lot of this stuff was just gathered by a combination of me and people in my guild. I have somewhere down here, like I'll get it more organized, but I have like a little bit of a credits list because I've had people that have helped me with a lot of the really extreme fishing stuff, and there's a lot of like horde only items, so I had people in the guild help me with that. I had to do some stuff from the Season of Mastery server that I then transferred to the Wrath server, and these people helped me a great deal with that, because there were several items that only existed on those when I started this. So there's all that, and then yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, I'm a little tired. I lost my train of thought. So I'm gonna find the right methodology to do this. Yeah, I have no idea how many videos this will take to do, but This is just going to be the whole process. I'm going to try to document the whole thing. Well, anyway, I can actually, let me go and open up the mail, or the junk pile here. And I can start looking through some of it and see if I can figure out along the way the right way to do this. Scorn, Scorn is a wonderful friend and a valued member of our guild, and has probably helped me with a bunch of these things. Scorn asked what inspired us to do such a challenging quest, and it is just, I think I'd kind of forgotten that it was a combination of Kistara collecting all of the books in the game that she could, and then also we had the headhunter quest at some point to try to collect as many heads as you can in the game. And then we settled on junk being something that was much more fun, as long as it's like tradable. Which I'm really glad we did it, because it's been a very fascinating journey. Okay, I'm gonna start. Let's make sure this is working. Why is it frozen? It's not supposed to be frozen. Let me try game capture instead. World of Warcraft. There we go. Fix this window size. I'll have to figure out a good layout here too, because at some point it's going to be just like truly me being on one character and then checking through these lists. I'll do something like this to start with. That'll help. So okay, so let's hop on to Junkmonger. So there's two main characters to this quest, and a lot of side characters, but the main characters are Junkmonger and Junkmaster. Junkmonger has collected and is aiming to collect every non-armor and weapon gray item in the game, and Junkmaster is attempting to get every weapon and armor. And the reason that I have two different characters is because there are so many items I require two different entirely unlocked guild banks to get all these things. So I'm still working on that. Obviously, Junkmaster, we still have like a couple hundred items to go, but it's actually not going to take quite that long, because none of them are particularly rare or uncommon. It's just going and killing a lot of certain level enemies. So Junkmonger is just about done, and we can actually start auditing that. Yeah, that's true. BlizzCon stuff hasn't started yet, right? That starts in a couple hours, I think. Oh, that's another big reason that I've been working on this now for a while, but we have to get it finished, because if they do announce Kata Classic, a lot of these items just get removed from the game completely. So it's actually really important that we finish this up now before time runs out, or at least get as close as we can. Yeah, while this is loading, go back over to the sheet real quick. See if I can shrink. If I do this. Ooh, it's too much. Yeah, let's do something like that. Bunch of Lua errors. Great. Okay, cool. All right, so this is Junkmonger. This is him. He's wonderful. This is a mage. I'm probably going to actually level him up once I'm done with this too, because I like having a mage named Junkmonger. So he currently has a wrapped gift and a steamy romance novel, Blue Moon. That's wonderful. So his inventory is pretty empty right now, but we've got a full bank of garbage, and a full guild bank as well. Yeah, there we go. That's the stuff. So yeah, this is gonna be, I'm not even sure. It's been actually really interesting trying to figuring out logistically how to properly catalog this stuff, because there's not a lot of tools that exist to do things like export a lot of data from like a guild bank. There are tools for that. Like that's, I think we have one of our previous officers, Caution, in our guild. I made an incredible audit sheet for our guild bank that would do stuff like that. So I copied some of that stuff. But I might literally just like start by just picking items and going item by item for a little bit, just to kind of establish a ground here. And let me actually, I wonder if I should open up another tab of this. Let's duplicate that, open that up over here. Because I want to be able to reference the grand audit list, which is just, again, like an untouched list from Wowhead that I'm not going to remove anything from. I think I'm just going to color code it a little bit. And then I can remove things from this, this other list here. So we'll probably need to verify both. So I'm going to have, let's do this. That over there. Copy this window. That's the same one. There we go. So yeah, I probably can shrink these down a little bit. Here, I'll do this. Let's have that one over here. That's the grand audit list there. And then this one can kind of just live above it. Do it like that. That's something for now. I'll figure this out as we go. Okay, let's see. Oh, I can't have these on the screen though. Okay, these are gonna go over here. Is that still working correctly? Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, let's take a look here. I'm gonna zoom this out a little bit more. Or no, it won't let me. Okay. Wrapped gift. This doesn't show item IDs. I thought I had a way to do that. What add-on does that? I swear I had something that would show item IDs. Interesting. It's not the biggest deal. There's only some items that have identical names where you need to care about that. Okay, I can look into that later. But okay, so yeah, let's see. I'll move stuff over to the inventory to take a look at it first. So we'll start with these. Wrapped gift. Let's see what the wrapped gift is. Wrapped gift is technically classified under a container, which is kind of interesting. I think I have to keep this at the top. Yeah. I think I'm good on bag score, and I appreciate it. I think I've got 20 slots on all these characters that matter. I guess these are some 16s, so I can. But I have a bunch of extras that I need to send over. Okay, let me get back over to this. Okay, so wrapped gift, postbox parcel. That's right. So this one's weird. This is one of the. This is actually like an interesting one to start with. I should have this over here. I need 3 monitors now. Yeah, wrapped gift you actually get from. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I got this a while ago. You have to open a postbox parcel from Stratholme, and it's a 3% drop rate from it. So when you. I remember the way this works. You have to go through and you have to kill there's like a post office guy that drops keys in Stratholme, and then you get to go open 3 mailboxes, and that summons the like postal boss, whatever his name is. And whenever you open the mailboxes to get the stuff, there's junk items that drop, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. And for some reason, let me make sure this is showing up on stream correctly. Yeah, you can see it there. of the 6 items, one of these has a 3% drop rate for some reason. So that was just doing dozens of strat home runs until eventually I got the wrapped gift. And it's classified as a container even though you can't open it, which I think is at least interesting. So that's what that is. Let's look on the sheet. Wrapped gift. Oh, it's a consumable, not a container. That's even weirder because you can't consume it either. But yeah, wrapped gift. Where is the highlight? Like a dark gray for the whole tab. Yeah, I'll kind of cross it out there. And then here I will just delete it. This is a copy of my master list. Yeah. Great. Steamy romance novel Blue Moon. Oh, I should, yeah. Oh, actually, wait. I guess I can do it on this list. So I want to make some sort of notification if something's interesting. I'm just gonna highlight these. I'm gonna highlight this like orange because this one's kind of cool. Or it has like a, it's not super boring like most of these items are. Steamy romance novel Blue Moon. That's the most recent steamy romance novel that got added. That one is tough because you can only pickpocket it from the boss, one of the 2 random bosses from Trial of the Crusader, the 5-man dungeon. The second boss of that dungeon can have one of 2 bosses. I think Paletris or whatever his name is, the guy that blinds you. And you have to pickpocket it from her. And I don't even think it's a particularly high chance to pickpocket. Maybe it's guaranteed. But you have to run the dungeon, you have to get to the second boss, you have to get her, and you have to be a rogue, and you have to pickpocket it before the fight starts. Which is, again, also pretty interesting. So I'll mark that here. Steamy romance novel. Let's do. Oh. And if you're watching this for some reason, because again, I hope this explains to you the excitement level of these videos and what this is going to entail. These are some of the more exciting ones. We're gonna burn through so many just like common ferns and iron feathers and stuff. That'll all fly through really fast. But I'm kind of just like trying to figure out the process here. Where is it? Blue Moon. Yep. Let's delete it. I want to delete it. Is that what I want to do? I don't like deleting it from the list. I don't like deleting it from the list. I really want to like drag it to the top, something. And then do some sort of indicator on it. Because this list, I spent a lot of time making that like indicates, you know, hey, this was only available in phase 3, and the source is from pickpocketing, and it was added in Wrath. I don't want to delete stuff. What was the other item? Parcel. Wrapped gift. Yeah, let me just undo. Undo. There we go. I guess I could rank these. that's the sort of also we've done a lot of bullshit like that in the guild, and that would be maybe a nightmare to do. I'll at least start doing it. Blue Moon is near the top for sure, and wrapped gifts up there too. I guess I can have some sort of formatting in here that doesn't let me color code these. Can insert a row. And then maybe add some sort of thick border to it. Act as like the buffer. There we go. Cool, okay. Well, I guess I made a copy of this grand audit list, so I'll delete them from this list. I like that a lot more. So this gets deleted. Oh, but I can't. Because it's gathering. Okay, yeah, that's fine. This is like parsing data in a weird way, so I'll just black it out. And the other one was Blue Moon. Why is there two? Oh, because you're right. Okay. Wrapped gift. Cool. Oh, that one. There we go. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, this I think this is a better way to do it. It'll be actually it'll be nice to I guess as I work through them I can add them to my inventory. That's what I'll do. To help kind of keep them organized a bit. Okay, so I've got these two already. All right, Thorny Vine. Yep. It's a common drop. I'm not going to do this for all of these, but let's just take a look. Where does Thorny Vine drop? Thorny Vine drops from Botanica and Dire Mall Plants. Yep. There you go. It's worth 30 silver and 70 copper. Excellent. Super exciting. All right, Thorny Vine goes up the list to the top. And it's the worst, it's the least interesting junk item so far. And I also don't need to update both of these lists in real time. I might just do like the master list, and then I can update the audit later. Because the audit's important to make sure I didn't miss anything on this list. Like this is the most accurate, genuine list. But I'll refine this as I go because this is going to take a while. Cool. Worthless piece of white glass. These are fun. The worthless pieces of glass you get from the Dalaran daily quests. And there's a bunch of different colors. There's 5 different colors. And I think they all have roughly equal rarity, if I remember correctly. Bag of fishing treasures, yeah, 5% drop rate. The bag of fishing treasures drops a huge number of junk items. Some that are really rare. Yeah, it looks like the glass is kind of like the most common one, although oh yeah, white glass, yeah. So they're all about 5% drop rate. What's the rarest one out of that bag? It's the stuffed shark head has a 0.5% drop rate, and so does the steamy romance novel. I don't know if that's the only place to get that, but yeah, I remember Callan and a bunch of other people in our guild were really good at sending me these. So that's the rarest one, I guess. That's fun. Well, anyway, these 5 are pretty boring by comparison. But they're not as boring as a Thorny Vine. Let me find all of those. It's called Worthless Piece. There's Violet Glass. Let's check the guild bank. There's Orange. Green. And then I'm missing 1 red. Red? Hello? There we go. Cool. Okie dokie. So that's all of those. Yeah, I'm not going to update this list on the left in real time because that's, again, it's going to be for just verifying stuff at the end. Okay, great. Let's keep going. Withered kelp. Withered kelp is from fishing. Excellent. Oh, there's Kist. Oh, what's up, Kist? You know, it's actually been very interesting trying to figure out. Oh, Automod held a message because it is a sex-based term because you use the word ass. I'm gonna allow that. I'm sorry that was not permitted. Yeah, I made this on a separate Twitch account so that nobody that I know and respects me knows I'm doing this. This is my shame Twitch channel. All right, cool. Let's see. 1222. Yeah, I got to go in just a little bit, but kind of just like feeling the temperature of this. All right, water soaked letter. It's a container. Is it? I guess you can read it. Is it a container? Oh, that actually this raises a good point too. If you look at this list of the copy of the master list, you'll see that it has 855 items listed. There's something like 300 of these that don't exist. We'll get to it at some point, but there's all of these Ravager claws they added in TBC. There's like 20 flavors of Ravager claws they added that just they never put in the game. And they're all just like crushed Ravager claw, worn Ravager claw, damaged, weathered, beaten, flawed, imperfect. Like every adjective and synonym of like broken that they could find, they made an item for and then didn't add it in the game. And it's really weird. They never did that for anything else. But there are a bunch of other items that just don't exist. Or a lot of these are items that exist, I think, in like the Cataclysm pre-patch, but they haven't been added yet. So this list has a huge number of stuff that doesn't actually exist. And a lot of it's also like bind on pickup and stuff, so it doesn't technically count for this purpose. Where do you get the water-soaked letter? This is like going down memory lane a little bit too, which is fun. The Rusted Prisoner's Footlocker. Oh, so this is fishing in the Dalaran prison outside of Violet Hold. You can get crude eating utensils there, and you can get this water-soaked letter. Years and years I have been locked away in this magical prison. Tonight I make my escape. I have everything I need to make my break. Water-smeared ink has ruined the section of the letter. Why have I been here so long? What did I do to deserve this? Days and days of these thoughts running through my head. What could someone do to deserve this? Water-smeared ink has ruined this letter. Perhaps I will find out in another life. That's just sad. That's not even fun. That's weird. It's weird that they added this, and it's just really upsetting and not fun at all. But good. It's great. So that's a 96% drop rate from the Footlocker, and the Footlocker is a contains. Wait, why is it not showing me? I don't know. I don't know what the fishing rate of the Footlocker is. It's probably not super rare or anything. All right, but water soaked letter. I mean, that's more interesting than those. I think wrapped gift is really funny and interesting, so I'm not gonna make it better than that. That is a job for the Fishing Queen. I mean, the Fishing Queen, to be clear, still has one job remaining, which is so far you've gotten two of the damp diary pages, and page 512 still remains. I've been fishing for it for a while. I did manage to catch one of the other pages, but we already had it, so it didn't matter. So that's like the only actually rare item still remaining. That's just going to take some time. So if you want to go log in and get it in like 3 minutes like you normally do, feel free. But anyway, back to the copy list. Okay, cool. So that's good. Unwarmed shoes. Unwarmed shoes? Where are these from? Unwarmed shoes. Oh, I gotta find a better way to organize this screen. I just need to keep the game full screened here. Oh, this is one of the winter grasp items. So there's a series of items that exist that drop from players in both Alteric Valley and Winter Grasp. And so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 items you can loot from players in Winter Grasp. And that's one of them, which is fun. That's cool. There are a bunch in AV as well, and actually 2 of the remaining items on the list. This is right there. Most things are more interesting than Worthless Piece of Violet Glass. On the actual list, there's still 2 that remain. It's the Nubless Pacifier and the Worn Running Shoes. And I really struggled because I did so much AV and got all the other items, but never saw these, and I haven't seen them on the auction house ever on our server. And I think I've determined it's because these drop only from dead Alliance players. So I think there's 2 items that drop only from Horde and 2 that only drop from Alliance. Because and there's nothing indicating that for sure. I still don't know that that's actually true, except that on like Wowhead comments. when people are just talking about like, oh wow, people sucked, and it says please note it's only dropped by alliance, which sounds like a joke, but I think is actually true. Um, because people kind of mention that on these two items a little bit of like this drops from this was looted from a pally. I guess this was in TBC, so it could be horde, but that tells me that it's probably alliance. And then yeah, it's just people kind of sort of confirming that. So I think that's the case. The sleeveless T-shirt, I don't think. I guess I don't think that exists, and also it's white, so it doesn't matter for us. But um, yeah. So I think I've confirmed that's true. I've got to do more AV on my Horde Paladin to confirm that that's the case, but I think that's what's up. Um, did you get two or one? I thought you got both pages. Maybe you only got one. Maybe I bought one in the auction house or something, or got one myself. But I know I fished up one page, but it was one that we already had. Okay. That was unwarmed shoes. Got that. Good. Tusk warmer, I think, is another one. Ooh. Yeah, Tusk warmer is PvP. Good. That goes right next to that one. Translucent scale. Translucent scale, common drop, wrath. I'm not going to look up that one. One thing that I did find interesting going through this whole process is that, basically every enemy in the game can drop junk items, and almost every enemy in the game can drop 2 junk items, especially in Wrath. I'll actually show this real quick because I find this interesting now that I've lived in this world for so long. So like the arcane worms and dragon blight, I guess this is from Wrath. These things, this is the most normal formula for what enemies drop. They drop 2 different gray items. One has a higher drop rate, one has a lower. And that's just what they did. I don't know why. So like yeah, this can drop a scale and a fang, and the fang is slightly more rare. But almost every enemy in the game has this formula for junk items, and almost every enemy in the game like is different by category. So any sort of arcane worm is going to have this loot table, obviously, but then like all the hogs in the game are going to have something different. All the walruses are going to have something different. And they settle on that formula after a while. And sometimes, for some reason, the second item is very rare. Like it'll be like 2% drop rate of a certain gray item and 98% of the other one. That's just what they did. I don't know why. So yeah, most enemies in the game have like 2 junk items that they can drop, and then obviously armor and weapons are a little bit more diverse. Like anything can drop those for the gray items anyway. Translucent scale. Okay, torn sail. Let's see. Torn sail is from fishing in Wrath, so I'm pretty sure that's there's an island to the north of the Argent tournament. That there's like some daily quests now for, but before that, if you go up there and fish, there's a handful of items that you can. There's like 3 junk items you only fish up from that island, in just random water. There's also a bunch of junk items they added. They made it in Wrath so that you can fish anywhere, regardless of your skill level. You just won't catch actual fish. They added a bunch of junk items you can catch along the way. Some of those also are oddly very rare. Which we'll get into at some point. But I think Torn Sail is not one of those. Let me just confirm. Yeah, Torn Sail, it can be caught in Hrothgar's Landing. It's the Empty Clam, the Torn Sail, and the Withered Kelp. Those are kind of interesting. That's more interesting than these fishing things, and I think more interesting than the PvP ones. Let me actually just grab all 3 of these while I'm doing that. I like doing this by category. Empty Clam. Oh, gosh. There's the Empty Clam, and then Withered Kelp. I already have that. Okay, cool. Oh, I guess I skipped that earlier. Oh, no, Withered Kelp, I just, yeah, I was thinking of something different. So Withered Kelp, and then it was the clam. How many clams are on this list? 1. There's an Empty Clam, and there's a Municipal Proclamation, or the 2 clams on this list. Good. All right, cool. What's next? Toothless Gear. Pretty sure from my memory this is one of the 2 items I can drop from the like mechanomes in Wrath. So they're pretty boring. Just confirm that. Yeah, okay, it looks like it's Storm Peaks guys and also Flame Leviathan and Old War. What else can they drop? Yeah, see, here's that formula again. Crooked Cog, 75% drop rate. Toothless Gear, 20%. One's more rare than the other for some reason, and I guess it is worth a little bit more money. I guess that's why. I don't know. It's weird. Okay, it's Toothless Gear. Thick Scaly Tail. What a normal named item. Scaly Tail. That right there is a common drop from an enemy. This isn't Wrath, so let's take a look at that. What drops a Thick Scaly Tail? Oh yeah, basically any turtle that's ever existed drops this with a pretty high drop rate. So like if I pick yeah, saltwater snapjaw for instance. What's it? Search by drop rate. Yeah, thick scaly tail and speckled shell fragment. Good stuff. That's just a classic junk item right there. Good. Yep, that's there. Thick Kodo hair. Yeah, we're in the real stuff now. Thick furry mane. Should check and see. I've looked for this kind of stuff before. Oh, I should also mention, because you might have seen it if you're watching this video, the #1 most useful tool by an incredible margin that I have found for these purposes is I think it's, gosh, I don't know if it's part of Arc Inventory. I think it's part of Arc Inventory. It might be part of LVUI. It might be part of all the things. But this thing in the tooltip that shows me which character I own that has this, I would not have been able to do this without that add-on that has that. Because I'm able to, like, when I get a loot drop, I can just hover over it and it'll say that, Junkmonger has it in his mailbox, or Fisherman has it in his bank, or something like that. Like it's been so useful to find out what items I have and which ones I don't. But I wish there was a way to like copy, like hit Command C over this item and have it copy the name of the item from my inventory. But I don't think that sort of tool is something that's easy to find. So I'm not worried about it. Let's see. Yeah, we are in the thick zone. Some of us live in the thick zone, Some of us were born in the thick zone and will die in the thick zone. I'm not using this list right now, so I can actually just close that one. And drag this over, and I'll hide this. I can actually make this really small because it just doesn't really matter. Okay, there we go. That's a better format. And that way I can see chat. Alt Control C. There's no way that works. Alt Control C. Oh, I have a Wowhead item link copy like add-on. If I don't have that enabled, is that what that would do? That is interesting. I wonder if that's worth it. Well, then I have to then Control C again, and I have to go here and then paste it. That is interesting. I'll keep looking at tools like that. Yeah, okay. All right, Stumpy Foot. Stumpy Foot. Almond drop. That's just a foot. What drops the foot? Oh yeah, elephants. Actually, let's look at the feet for a second. The elephant feet is a really interesting category in Wrath for junk items because there's Stumpy Foot, um, and then let me just look. Let me look up the word foot. Um, the foot locker, rabbit's foot, misshapen foot. So the misshapen foot is a really common drop from like all of the different mammoths and elephants in Wrath. Um, misshapen foot. Yeah, there it is. There's flavor text on it that says a bit off, which is, I mean, that's interesting. But then what's, I guess I should drag this up since I've now moved it. If we keep looking for foot, we'll find something called, where is it? Perfectly rounded foot. Let's see where perfectly rounded foot is here. Perfectly rounded foot. Let's see, it's probably in the guild bank. Perfectly, I cannot spell things ever at all. This, what are we doing? What's doing? Is that my, no, where's the guild bank? This is the guild bank. Jeez, okay. Perfectly. Let's find it. There it is. Perfectly rounded foot. If only you had an umbrella, is the flavor text on that, which truly makes no sense to me. And I had to look it up, and I think a Wowhead comment mentions it too, that like apparently there are umbrella stands that people have made out of elephant's feet, which is one of the most fucked up things I've ever heard. But also, if we look up perfectly rounded foot on Wowhead, just take a look real quick. What's the drop rate on this? Yeah, it's 0.3% chance from emancipated mammoth bulls. So if you want to get it from a ghost mammoth or a big adult mammoth, it's like a 0.1% drop rate. The highest drop rate is from little baby starving mammoths. So you have to go into Dragonblight and just mass murder a bunch of baby mammoths, and then you get a perfectly rounded foot that has the flavor text of "If only you had an umbrella." And that's one of the weirdest things in this game. This took me like, I think about 5 or 6 hours to farm, maybe, of just running around Dragonblight and just murdering every elephant I could. So, yeah. Yep, that's that thing. That one's going up near the top. Let's see. Water soaked letter. It's not as interesting, or it's more interesting than that. I mean, it's the most interesting of all these so far. Steamy romance novel is interesting in terms of because it gets weird and hard to get, but perfectly rounded foot is one of the rarest. It's one of the lowest drop rate items of rare items or of junk items in the game. Well, yeah. So that one's weird. All right, let's get back to it. Stumpy foot. I've got all my feet. All right, stretch segments. Just a common drop from Stormbeaks. Yeah, probably from like zombies. Sticky spider webbing. I'm hoping by the end of this, I'll be the first person to have ever said the name of every junk item in this game out loud. Why does it say this is a container? Wait, why? Well, this says it's miscellaneous. It's not a container. Oh, I guess it's from a container. I guess that's that's the source, right? It's from a container. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, from Deep Moss Segs. Isn't that interesting? I guess you actually have to be on that quest. There's a quest in Stone Talon Mountains. Yeah, Deep Moss Spider Eggs. You have to be on that quest, and then those things drop from the eggs along with the quest items. So, I mean, that makes it more interesting. That's like up here. Let's fun. Steel arrowhead. This is one. This has got to be one of the. Actually, this might be a centaur item. Oh, Sunscale Raptors in the Barrens. It only drops from dinosaurs in the Barrens. And it's so weird what they chose to. Yeah, Screechers and Lashtails. This is one of my favorite parts of this quest, by the way, too, is looking at the Wowhead comments for junk items whenever they exist, because they're a lot of these have no comments. So people just being like, does this have any use? Question mark. Several quests throughout the game allude to the perceived intelligence of raptors. I'd like to think that some of them have figured out how to make arrowheads, but are working on inventing a shaft, let alone a bow. Either that or their lizard brains are just literally like, ooh, shiny, and pick up one after an adventure, after fighting an adventure. Some people get really angry about junk items. They'll be like, fucking Blizzard, why are you wasting our time adding all this stuff into the game? Like that'll come up a lot. Which always makes me laugh. Alright, Steel Arrowhead. Goes in the pointless category. Great. Squashed Rabbit Carcass. Actually, they mentioned that one. Squashed Rabbit Carcass probably also drops in the bear. Yeah, level 1 to 10 Kodos. Yeah. You know what I should do is I should make let's see, sticky spider webbing, tusk warmer. I guess, yeah, one below here. I'm gonna make this this is the interesting divider. Everything above this is kind of interesting, and everything below it is not interesting at all. And that's how I can organize this bit. Okay, Squash Rabbit Carcass, I got that on here, right? Yeah. Sprung Whirligig. Sprung Whirligig. Get up into that uninteresting category. That one's just also from Mechanomes, I think. Spoiled Regents. No longer good for casting, but they might sell cheap in the secondary market. What's that from? It's from a quest. It's from Mage Hunter's personal effects. It's created by the spell Rifle the Bodies, create Mage Hunter personal effects. Oh, this is from, there's a quest in Dragonblight where you have to go through all these like ghost areas and you're opening all these bags over and over again. And there's a bunch of junk items you can get out of it. Yeah. Vendor trash. I haven't found any use for it whatsoever, but two people downvoted this. They didn't like that this was the answer. And that's true. Here's the secondary market according to Wikipedia. Enjoy. What? Just linked the concept of a secondary market. Right. Yeah. Accurate. Okay. Is that interesting? No. All right. Sparkly Raptor Warfeather. Common drop. Small raptor tooth. Small pocket watch. We're in the small category right now. Oh, this is pickpocketed. So this is, yeah, worth mentioning. With this one, there's a very large number of junk items that you only get from pickpocketing, and they're all pretty specific. Like a lot of them, I mean, a lot of this stuff, especially armor and weapons, are assigned in like 10 level chunks. So a lot of things will only drop from level 40 to 50 enemies. It's like pickpocketing is that way too, where like most things only drop out of certain or pickpocketed from certain level enemies, or they come out of those certain level junk boxes. So some of these are pretty easy to get. Some of them are extremely rare, including the rarest junk item that we'll get to eventually. Um, but yeah, I mean, like this, it's always weird. Like this says that this thing has a 1.6% drop rate from the Warsong Gulch Battlemaster, which I don't know if that's true. I doubt it, but Wowhead data gets weird with that sometimes. It's actually pickpocketed, and it's a really common pickpocketing drop in like the level 20 to 30 range. It looks like. So yeah, there's a bunch of items like that. Okay, got that up on the list. Slime drenched scale. Silky plumage. This is a very specific kind of ASMR. Somebody reading out the names of items. Silithid ichor. That's got to be from bugs. Yeah, level 20 to 30 silithids. Where are there level 20 to 30 silithids? Are they in like 1,000 needles? Yeah, 1,000 needles in the barrens. Yeah. Shiny polished stone. Where's that from? I guess it's probably just from rock enemies. That would make a lot of sense if that's true. Yeah, from rock enemies like level 40 to 50. Although it also shows Shadow Moon Valley. Oh, so I guess they re-added it for all those guys too. Good stuff. Shed lizard skin. Sharpened raptor talon. Serrated petal. Seeping gizzard. I wonder what the worst named item is. That's up there. What's the actual proper definition of a gizzard? It's just like a stomach. A thick a muscular, thick-walled part of the bird's stomach for grinding food. So it's specifically for birds. So yeah, you don't want those to seep. Bad. Scratching stick. That's pickpocketed. Yeah, a lot of these junk items are kind of gross. Oh yeah, scratching stick is from like knoll enemies. That's also very interesting that a lot of these things are like, I mean, they're themed after like, a lot of them only drop from humanoids or drop from stuff, but then they will even get more specific and be like, this only drops from, quote unquote like beastmen, or it's like gnolls and like, yeah, anything that's like like a humanoid animal type creature. And they all get stuff like scratching sticks, which I don't know why that is signified. Scintillating stone shard. Sawtooth talon. Condense that a bit so I can see the drop source. That column's not even for anything. Sawtooth talon. Saber-tooth fang. Wait, why does this say My tooltip says this is from Ice Crown Citadel, Glory of the Ice Crown Raider. I think that's true. Saber-tooth Fang. Level 40 to 60 cats. Yeah. Rock Chip. Rime Crusted Herbs. That's from Plant Dudes and Crystal Song Forest. Revolting Flower. Oh, I like that. That's from Wintergrasp. Oh, that's from like some of the elementals in Wintergrasp. That's fun. Reticulated Fang. Rending Talon. Yeah, this is the real stuff right here. Pristine Ravager Claw. Oh, some of these were tough. I don't think it was this one. Or some of these pristine items taking a while. No, that one's really easy though. There's like a pristine like skull from Angora Crater. That's a really low drop rate. Pristine Ravager Carapace. Prismatic Stone Chip. Primordial Infusion. I think that thing drops from like any sort of ghost in Wrath. Primordial Essence. Poison Spider Fang. Piece of Polished Driftwood. This is one of the fishing ones. I think, right? Yeah, Bag of Fishing Treasures. Yeah, this is from the TBC quests, not the Wrath ones. So similarly, some of those have really rare drops as well. But that's not like the rarest one. So, New Age painting signed by Marcia Chase. This is painting. Bag of Fishing Treasures. Which one was the rarest one? I think it was the Shark Head. This is a 4% drop rate, so that's not super common. Yeah, Stuffed Shark Head is a 0.5%. That's right. Although I can never remember. I guess this is the actual drop rate out of the bag itself. Some of the fishing percentages always look really wrong because it's like calculating it as chance per cast, but this is from a bag, so I think that's accurate. Mostly Eaten Bone Scale Snapper. Oh, that one's kind of cool. Because this is from specifically a certain Burning Crusade fishing daily quest. We have to go to Shadow Moon Valley and fish up stuff. Or no, wait, oh never mind. This is from the daily quest, the Blood in the Water daily. And you can fish them up in these pools, I think. Is that what it's from? Yeah, blood is thicker daily. You can fish them up there. That's fun. Mirror like seashell. Mosswalker Possessions. What is that? Mosswalker possessions. Oh, they're these bags. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I still have to get two of these. Cracked diamond and green sparkly. It's from these bags you get for this quest when you're like rescuing people over there. So yeah, I'm gonna get that on my paladin. They're like basically guaranteed drops. It's just you have to actually like not vendor them. Um, cool. Mark of the Syndicate. Drops from level 30 to 40 Syndicate members. Looped Tusk. Long soft tail. Level 30 to 60 cats. Lasher Root. Large Trophy Paw. Is that just like bears? Yeah. It's just from things with paws. Large flat tooth. It's from Zevra Runners in the Barrens. Good. Intact basilisk spine. From basilisks. Icy Fang. Ice Piercing Thorn. Elementals and Winter Grasp. Sure. Husk Fragment. Huge Jaws. Zone Drop Howling Fjord. Why? What's special about that? Oh, it's from like sea lions and seals. Sure. Hollow Wing Bone. Holy Punch card. Guardians of Zim Rook Drak. What's up with this? Is a 16% drop rate from Guardians in Zoldrak. It's a punch card. It's weird. Yeah, the only other time like you get punch cards are in Nomergan. It's a weird joke. But these Guardians, so that's like their 16% drop rate. They also have that other really rare one. Yeah, Voo Juice. This one took a while. They have a 0.7% chance to drop a gray item called Voo Juice. It says the real power source. Where's that? I guess there's the expired Voodoo Power Core, which is their really common drop. Where's Voo Juice? Let me find it. Yeah, there it is. The power of Voo Juice, that's right. Voo Juice? Voo Juice. Voo Juice. That gets into the interesting category, and then expired. Voodoo Power Core. Not interesting. Hardened Flipper. Golden Scale Vendorfish. It's a rare drop from the Cooking Daily in TBC, yeah. Gnarled Horn. All right, let's see. Gnarled Horn is not interesting. Glowing Runestone. Glimmering Stone Chip. Gelid Nerve Fluid. That's kind of gross. Nerve Fluid's not great. Take a look. Oh, it's from Germangers. It's from big worm guys. Gelatinous goo. Oh yeah, this is actually an interesting one. So there's gelatinous goo that drops from like the big worm guys and in Northrend. Okay, it drops from like so many, like any kind of worm enemy that exists in the game, through like any level basically. But then there is another item called gratuitously gelatinous goo, and it has an equivalent called supremely slimy ichor. And there's no source except there's one comment saying that it's the secret source of the Forsaken's Mohawk hair gel. And this is one that I've had to research a little bit of like, Wowhead's pretty good, but if you just search for this with WoW, you'll get like Wowpedia and some like other random websites that give you some more information. So Wowpedia says it drops from worms. And it was added in patch 3.0.2, so it was added in, the Wrath pre-patch. So that seems to indicate it should drop from worms, but there's no Wowhead data gathered. So if you go to the WoW DB, there's nothing there either. If you look at the retail list on Wowhead of where it drops, it can drop from like all this different stuff. And it's a very low drop rate. It's a 0.13% drop rate from this one ooze in Velwood or whatever. So that's a little shocking. If you go to Wrath, yeah, no data shown. So at some point, I found something that indicated that this thing dropped from the big elite worms in Dragonblight, but it seems like this doesn't actually exist. I've found no record of this actually existing in Wrath. It might be a Cataclysm pre-patch thing, or they just never actually used it. This is kind of like both of these are kind of funny names anyway, so I think they don't exist. But I'll probably do a little bit more confirming on that before I write it off. Frosty Mushroom. Let's see. All right, how many has that been? Out of curiosity, how long have I been streaming? I've been streaming for. This says an hour and 15 minutes, and I just did a lot of setup for a while. But I have what looks like about. Ooh, I've almost done 100. I should do an even 100. 83 minus 2, an 81. Because yeah, if I can do like 100 items per stream, which I'll be able to power through faster, I think, as I go. I mean, again, this has 850 listed, and a lot of these aren't real. So 8 streams worth for that, and then weapons and armor. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Let's do 19 more. Forest spider webbing. Can't spell forest right. Dropped or mined? What do you mine spider webbing? Elwyn Forest, it drops. From forest spiders. Sure. It's mined from a copper vein. Yeah, this is where Wowhead reporting gets weird, where somehow it got listed as 1 out of 395,000 mining attempts on a copper vein gave somebody a spider web, which I assume is not actually real. Nor do I believe it dropped from a prowler. It's just got to be like the data getting misrecorded somehow. Flickering torch. Enchanted Tiki Warrior in Zoldrak. Zoldrak has a lot of specific items. Flash Frozen Flower. Bedded Ichor. The most fantasy of names. Fantasy Portrait. The bag of fishing treasures. I wonder if this is the first time. I wonder if this is the first time in WoW that they had a picture of a Pandarian. Because obviously they existed in like Warcraft before that, but I wonder if this is the first time this icon. Where else is this icon even used? Icon World Event Brewmaster. It's only used for that item and for the Brewmaster achievement. Yeah, that's it. It's really interesting. Yeah, people are excited about Pandaren. Sad to say, but face it, Pandaren will never be a playable race or be any part of the game or any other in any way other than as pets and stuff like that. What the fuck? That's messed up. Yeah, have them as pets. It's just a flirt with the panda-loving Chinese Asian players. It's not in any lore that I know of, and the hero in Warcraft 3 isn't part of any campaign maps either. That being said, it's a shame. Would have loved to be a brewmaster. Drunken brawl for the win. This comment did not age well. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that stays in the interesting category. Familiar horn. Servant of Iligar, Red Ridge Mountains. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I've never heard of pandas in the lore. It's like you just Google the word panda, it's probably going to be on one of the first lists. Familiar hide. Oh, this right. This okay. These aren't familiar horns. This is a familiar's horn. Right, that makes sense. Familiar fang. Familiar claw. Extinguish light of hope. Yeah, that's a wintergrasp item. Essence of agony. Oh, this is a good one. So Essence of Agony is I had a lot of these items marked off because I marked them as depreciated, like they were. I mean, this was an item that rogues needed to craft poisons, but then they removed poison crafting from the game, or like made it way more simplified. And so all of those items that existed just got turned into gray vendor trash. And apparently, it still says that like rogue enemies can drop them. Like if you kill Flint Shadowmoor in the Western Plaguelands, he has a 33% drop rate, but it doesn't list any actual counts. So I don't know that that's actually true. And also lists that it's sold by a bunch of people, but I don't think that's true anymore. Um, so these items, yeah, they're also apparently maybe contained inside junk boxes, but I think that's historical data. Like this is all data that was gathered back in Classic, and the data's carried through to Wrath, but this is no longer like it isn't nothing's been added to these lists. Um, so to get these items, which I thought I was just like, I wasn't going to be too heartbroken if it's not obtainable, then it's not obtainable. That's just the reality. There's a lot of items that are not obtainable anymore. But I found out that when they introduced Season of Mastery, um, which is a separate server, they eventually announced that when Season of Mastery concluded, they were going to allow people to transfer those characters to the Wrath of the Lich King servers. So I was able to go make a new character on Season of Mastery, level up to level 10, to try to get all of these items that I missed. And a lot of them are really easy. Like they're just vendor, like you just buy Essence of Agony from a vendor. Um, but some of them were drop rates from high level enemies, and some of them were very expensive. So I had to basically just go in and beg people in game, like, "Hey, I'm trying to gather all these items. Could you please just like, if you're able to get this item, can you mail it to me?" And I think I got all of them. From my memory, I managed to get everything, thanks to a lot of very helpful people. And then I transferred that over to the server. So yeah, Essence of Agony I've got. Classes Rogue. Used by rogues to brew poisons, yeah. Enormous Jaws. Enormous Jaws. Empty Hippogriff Harness. No flying away for you. Yeah, Winter Grasp item. That makes sense. Elemental Fragment. Efflorescing Shards? Not ever heard that word used that way. Efflorescing. It's just the state of being efflorescent. It's the present participle of efflorescence. Neat. Dust of Deterioration, same thing. That's also a rogue item. I'm gonna unstrike these out because I do have them. I guess I can mark these as like I obtained them from Season of Mastery. Dry Scorpid Eye. Oh, I guess this is full. Wait, 73 out of 96 bags. Oh no, 96 out of 96. Okay. This is probably then like a good way to keep this organized a bit. I guess these are all organized by some sort of. It's not alphabetical. I'm not sure how it's organizing this stuff. probably by item ID number or something. But let's see. This is 99 minus 2. Yeah, 1, 2. But this is 96. Doesn't that mean I have 2 items on here? Well, I guess I have Dust of Deterioration. No, I haven't done that yet. Am I crazy? Or does that mean there's 2 items in my inventory that aren't on this list? Is that right? It does seem to indicate what that would mean. Or 97. I have 99 minus 2. So 97, which means there's 1 item. Oh, Dust Deterioration. There it is. Yeah, so that's 97th. Okay. Okay, that checks out. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the best way to organize this, because I mean, I can go by like the Guild Bank tab after this, but let's do the rest of these later. Okay, cool. So that's 97 items down of the grand audit list. Again, knowing that a lot of these aren't real, there are 1,476 items. Although there's a bunch of, again, like, not real stuff. It's probably more like 1,100 in total. So, yeah. This is great. This is, again, I think maybe one of the most boring things that's ever existed. But we'll go through and make sure we've got everything, or if there's anything missing. And then, as a reminder, the things that remain that haven't been obtained yet are these 2 items from Sholazar Basin quests, one of 2 different kinds of crystallized notes, which is from a really long quest chain in Ashara. Although I think this one is BOP, I think, so it actually technically doesn't even count. I think it's BOP. We'll get it anyway. 2 items that I think only drop from Alliance in AV that I have to farm, which I'll probably do some of that on stream at some point. 1 Damp Diary page is the only remaining really rare thing to get. And then there's 3 BOP quest items that I'll probably pick up. I need to check and see if it's possible to get... You can still pick up these first aid trauma certification items. Like, you used to have to do this quest in order to level up your first aid. Now you can just do the quest and then you get the item. And it's BOP, so again, it doesn't actually matter for this specific thing, but since I'm going to faction transfer my horde back over to Alliance anyway, I kind of want to see if you can do both, because they're 2 different quests. Like, can you do the Alliance to get the Alliance trauma certification and the horde one? So I'll probably try that just to see. But all in all, there's like 6 more non-BOP items, and then for weapons and armor, it's something like... I mean, this says 338, but I think a lot of these, there's specific pants and boots you can get from like every starting race and class combination, or a lot of them. Or not race and class combination, but like every race, and then like, you know, Blood Elf rogues have their own unique things for some reason. And it was also listed that you, like, all these shirts and stuff like are supposed to exist, but apparently aren't. You know, all of these like robes don't seem to exist. Like, when you make a new character, you just don't have. They're all white items, or you just don't have something in general. So I gotta figure out how that works. So yeah, there's something like 330 armor and weapons to go, and then just like 4 non-weapon and armor items. So I'll be doing some of that farming probably on stream and stuff as well to finish it up. But yeah, here's the progress so far. Yeah. All right, thanks everybody. I think BlizzCon stuff's happening later, and so for people that are watching in Guild, I'll probably try to hop into chat. Although I have to do like a work gig thing tonight, so I may not be around. But I'll probably stream more this weekend to try to burn through this auditing as quickly as I can. So y'all have a good one.